if you don't manage people well, if you don't manage resources well, if you don't manage information well, then the event will be disjointed. So that element of having a one-stop technology solution provider, we don't do mobile. The mobile app is not separate from the registration, not separate from, you understand, they're all interconnected.
Yeah.
So having that has really created some form of professionalism in the event space. Yeah.
MICE there is here, so we are starting this conversation.
Yes.
They're already here, but you're amplifying it.
Good.
You know. So who is Martin Muigah?
I'm sure right now I can confidently say that probably there is no problem or no headache an event organizer would be having that we can solve.
All right.
In the IT space.
All right.
The only thing is that bring us the people, or give us a strategy for bringing the people. We'll do the rest. We'll manage the people for you. We'll manage the resources for you. We'll manage information flow.
Yeah.
Within the event.
So what are these tech solutions? For example, you have ticketing, registration, I think guest management, speaker management. So what are these functionalities? What are these tech solutions like?
The application has been pretty good.
All right.
The application has been pretty good. Not as fast as you want it to be, because technology is not cheap.
Yes.
Technology is not cheap. It might look like it's cheap, but it gets cheap when you get very high numbers. But when you've got lower numbers, it's not very cheap to deploy technology.
All right.
So
technology does so well in large scale.
Yes, technology works in large scale.
Event sustainability. We are going green. So what initiatives do you have for sustainability at Dijito.one solution?
If you get the incentive right, the outlook is very powerful. It's very powerful, and you can attract very many types of events into this country, and of course giving a big ripple effect to the direct industries that are connected with it, from the cleaning people to the hospitality to security to so many other industries directly connected. Then you add that to the ripple effect to the whole economy.
In terms of knowledge gaps and human resource gaps in event tech, because it's a new foreign concept. So the former CEO of KMA, you are saying I was an early adopter, but now when it comes to the human resource, so is the human resource ready to really handle the tech solution? How the human landscape for the events tech and the knowledge gaps that needs to exist? Because I expect a smooth transition. Because a workforce need to be prepared to work with Dijito.one solutions. Right.
We get MICE right. A lot of things that the country is trying to do, including employment and so many other things, will align itself. We just need to get MICE right, with the right, the goodwill of the political players, the right technocrats running the various aspects of it, and people even willing to put in money.
When you talk about scaling or growing at Dijito.one event, so Dijito.one solutions, so what does growth and scaling look like? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Simon Peter, the MICE ambassador for Kenya, all the way from Kenya to Africa at large. Today, we are joined by our guest, who is an event tech expert for the last 10 years and has been in practice for more than 25 years in the tech space in Kenya. A former communication engineer who became a MICE enthusiast and an event specialist in MICE in Kenya. But before we proceed, today we are hosted by Clarion Hotel. Clarion is our partner. Clarion Hotel is located at the heart of Kenya's capital, which is a few minutes off from Moi Avenue, opposite Jivanji Gardens. And Kenya is the only country that has a national park outside its capital city. Let's have a look. today we are hosted with Martin Muigah. Martin Muigah is the CEO of Dijito.one solution. I want him to introduce himself, and he can tell us about his company, what he does in the event tech space. Take it away, Martin. How are you?
I'm very good.
Hey, it's been a while.
Yes. Thank you for the invite. I'm pretty honored to be participating in this.
Yeah, sure.
The voice of MICE is not always heard.
Yes.
And the opportunity and the capacity of MICE is very large, and the voice needs to be heard.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because actually, even the MICE industry has always been the shadow for quite a number of years, especially in Kenya.
Yes.
Because even you are being overtaken by our neighbors.
Yes.
So
which is very sad. Yeah. Even when you talk about tourism, you don't get MICE being mentioned. When you have tourism conventions, tourism events, MICE
but
is
not MICE related.
Yes, not MICE related, which is pretty sad at this stage. Yes, you asked me to introduce myself.
Yeah, so but just to clarify also that point, I think also it's a huge stride the government is doing, a huge stride in terms of in this angle. So for the first time ever, MICE is being incorporated in the National Tourism Strategy that currently, as we speak, is undergoing public stakeholder engagement all the country. So probably by the next few weeks it will be done, then probably be launched by the course of the year. And another key achievement is the KCC has actually developed a national MICE strategy, which is set to be launched in some few months to come. So I'll say there's a leap of faith. There's a leap of faith. And again, MICE there, it's here. So we are starting this conversation.
Yes.
They're already there, but you're amplifying it.
Good.
You know. So who is Martin Muigah?
Yes, my name is Martin Muigah.
Yes.
I'll not say my age. I don't want to scare people.
All right.
Yes, I've been in the technology space from training many years ago as a communication engineer.
Right.
Got into the MICE space like 10 years ago when I left formal employment ventured out into business.
All right.
And initially we were doing the work of creating CRMs and document digitization solutions, all those. Until one day we went to an event where we were sponsoring, and I saw the chaos in that event. Yeah. And I asked the CEO, I could probably mention Apolomboya at that time. I asked the CEO, can I solve this chaos for you? Because there's an IT solution for this. And he told me, go ahead, next year come with a solution. And that's exactly what we did. We developed the solution. A few ups and downs, because it's not always that when you start a solution, it doesn't always come out perfectly. But with time and being a fully locally developed solution, we've created a very robust solution called Dijito.one. Dijito.one has got over 80 to 90 technical benefits to an event. So you can mix and match any kind of you can mix and match the benefits to fit any kind of solution in any event.
So it's an event solution that is customized for different events. It can either be a summit, a conference, an exhibition. So it fits, you customize it depending on the event specific.
Exactly.
All right.
Because even talk about a conference, no conference is like the other one.
Yes, that's true.
So one conference will be having, you want to probably manage abstracts from the speakers. Another conference you want to do M-Pesa payments. How you want to do Visa payments. Another event you might want to give discounts. All those things are realities of events. So out of those 90 benefits, you're able to mix and match to create a solution for the event organizer. And I'm sure right now I can confidently say that probably there is no problem or no headache an event organizer would be having that we can solve.
All right.
In the IT space.
All right.
The only thing is that bring us the people, or give us a strategy for bringing the people. We'll do the rest. We'll manage the people for you. We'll manage the resources for you. We'll manage information flow. Within the event.
Okay. So basically, you'll integrate and incorporate tech into the events.
Exactly.
So if we talk about tech, so what are these tech solutions? For example, you have ticketing, registration, I think guest management, speaker management. So what are these functionalities? What are these tech solutions like?
Yes, the range of solutions. The first of all, what we call products. The products are online registration, where you've got pre-event registration of the participants. You've got issues like payments, issues of collecting of the biodata of the participants, being able to know what is their interests before the event. I mentioned payments. Then on-site registration, the work of badging, managing giveaways, managing accesses to the various places. You want to know, some people are entitled probably to being given lunch and others are not. There are people entitled for these gifts, others are not. So all that is fed into the system.
All right.
So we manage that for you. So managing of resources. Then there is the mobile apps. Event mobile apps are becoming very popular. It's actually a communication tool. So for communicating, you're talking about distribution of information, collection of information, networking. So you're able to network with one another because, for example, the badges have a QR code on RFID. So you're able to scan and able to exchange information between the participants, between a participant and an exhibitor, between a speaker, and all those possibilities of data exchange. So the mobile app is a very customizable solution for each and every type of event that you're looking at. I'm talking about MICE events, not social events.
Definitely, because you need to be very specific.
Yes, it's MICE events, and I'll probably talk about that, the differences.
All right. Which are...
Okay, for social events, you talk about ticketing. You've got the performer, for example, and then you have got the people who you want to come and the people who are managing it, probably call them the crew. And then everybody else are people who are coming in to pay. They're paying a ticket. So you probably might want to say, adult is this amount of money, children is this amount of money, and you don't care who is who. Basically, you can even be at the door just writing, just collecting money, giving a ticket. That's ticketing. Registration is very different. Registration, you want to know the biodata of the participants because you're talking about a MICE event. You want to know who is who. You want to know probably issues of what is their agenda, what is their country of origin, what is their profession, you understand, their county, all this information you want to, because it is important and relevant to the event. That's where registration is a bit more intense compared to, and then registration has got other functionalities. It's rule based. You could say that students will pay 50%, or people from Uganda will pay 50%. People from this organization, members will pay this, and then non-members will pay this. All that is possible within registration solution because you put in those rules into the system, and as people are registering, it checks. There is now the logical part of the form. So it knows if you see this and this and this, it generates an invoice of this amount of money. You understand? Depending on the rules and the rules that you have set up in the background. So registration and ticketing are different. Registration fits in MICE events. Ticketing fits in social events.
So social events system, we're talking about concerts, festivals, entertainment.
Exactly. Those are social events.
That's
so we don't play in that space. It's possible to do it, but it's something we've deliberately chosen not to get involved in.
So basically it's a niche to focus more on business events.
Yes, as we focus on. Dijito.one is a MICE event solution, not social events.
All right. So AI, have you guys caught up with AI? So are we integrating AI in these solutions, or at this point, where does AI come in?
Yes, AI is now becoming very integral. It's becoming integral, for example, in creating, analyzing the data. So you want to be able to analyze the data and create reports immediately. There is opportunity for it to be part of the research and making sense of the data that is within probably the mobile app. So there is opportunity in those spaces. Transcription, there's so many other areas that it can be able to fit in. Right now we are just using it a lot for generating the reports and generating documents that are required very fast to the participants.
What about RFID? Actually, no, I haven't actually experienced an event that is using RFID. So how is the uptake? Like
we have the RFID solution within our offering, and it works the same thing as QR code. The only small hiccup with RFID is trace signals. It's trace signals. For example, if you're doing RFID scanning here, anybody passing that side can easily interfere with it. You understand? So it's those managing that has not been. So the solution for that, of course, is NFC. Near field communication. Yes. It will be a better solution, but NFC works the same thing as a QR code. It's got the proximity element.
All right.
So and QR code is cheaper.
Yes. And it's easy to use. It's convenient. It's blah blah blah. Yes. So anyway, so you said something. So NFC and RFID, are those two different things, or that is something similar?
They are. One of them is near field. If you want to do NFC, you bring them close. The items close together.
Contact, yes.
RFID generally has got a higher distance, actually up to 10 meters.
10 meters.
So because it is radiating an electromagnetic energy, it's the RFID tag receives it and radiates its code. So it's got a lot of, as I mentioned, it's got a lot of stress signals.
That's true.
But it's still usable. It's still usable. And the issue, when the issue of stress signals is really properly addressed, it is probably to be a very good. Yes.
Yeah, because actually, my phone actually is NFC enabled. So when I'm making payments, just tap like this over the phone.
Exactly.
And to our next, and actually, which is it? Was it LinkedIn? I can't get it properly, but there was a site I was registering. So I just came to realize that the new Kenyan passport is NFC enabled. It has like a gadget.
Yes, the new passports.
Yes.
That's why we changed all the passports in the country. Yes.
I didn't look at it that. So actually the app was telling me, ensure your phone is NFC enabled, enable it, then move closer, it will scan.
Yes.
And actually it verified my passport.
Yeah.
All right, interesting. So integration on AI is exactly being done.
Yes, that is happening. Yes, there's still a lot of growth opportunity within that space. But it's there. It's there. You cannot escape from AI in any industry.
It's already here with us.
Yes,
the same thing actually is how smartphone came into existence. They really changed the smartphone and telecommunication landscape for long. So how is the uptake for event tech solutions in Kenya? So are people really absorbing? Is there like a huge disparity? And how is the market dynamics like for event tech?
When we started, we were the pioneers of there was nobody. It was very hard to convince people.
For real?
It was very difficult to convince any event to take up the solution. I can give a shout out to the people. My first clients were what you call, in an industry, you call them early adapters. I can mention a name. This lady called Elizabeth Walla, when she was the CEO at Kenya Medical Association. Well, that's an early adapter, somebody who sees technology and wants to put it in. But it was slow at that time. Now people are much more aware, and probably that's the beauty of competition. Competition allows more people to know about it. Then you're being compared according to your capabilities.
And also it sparks innovation.
It sparks innovation. It sparks. It might look like it is competition. It is eating your space, but it's really not. It is creating an opportunity for more people will be hearing about it, and it becomes easier for you to push your ideas forward.
And also more growth.
Good,
yes. So we're talking about uptake. So how is the general uptake?
Right now it's pretty good. Pretty good because even from the start of getting online forms for people to register, that is a big step. People used to be sent PDF. You write your details, then you send your PDF back. You can scan it, or you send it by post to the event organizer, and they've got to collect all this information. So the uptake has been pretty good.
All right.
The uptake has been pretty good. Not as fast as you want it to be, because technology is not cheap. Technology is not cheap. It might look like it's cheap, but it gets cheap when you get very high numbers. But when you've got lower numbers, it's not very cheap to deploy technology. So
technology does so well in large scale.
Yes, actually it works in a large scale. When before mobile phones became popular.
Yeah.
A mobile phone was 70,000, 100,000 shillings. Understand? And that was a very simple Nokia phone.
Oh, it was costing that much?
It was, yes, it was extremely expensive because of very few people using it. But you only get the economies of scale after many people adapt it.
Yeah,
So right now it's not the cheapest, especially when you're offering it as a service, because you've got the human element and equipment element. There's quite a bit of investment for it to be offered, and these are people you need to be paying to offer that service.
Right.
So there's still a lot of room for growth.
Yes.
But it is Kenya is in a good space for because it's got the technology and people are very aware. Yeah. If you see things like, for example, now everything you're doing on eCitizen.
Yes.
That tells you something about the demography of Kenya right now.
Yes.
A few people might have a problem, might have hiccups, but there are cybers everywhere that are assisting you on iTax and on eCitizen. Yes. But everything right now is technology based.
Digital.
Yes.
All right. So I think actually Kenya we're heading in the right direction in terms of tech.
Yes. As far as that tech is concerned, that's been pretty good.
So I think right now what's happening, the previous president, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, so he did a very huge project for the digital laying out of infrastructure, and also he came up with a program called Ajira Digital, which is also the beneficiary. In fact, we are the first cohort, the UN. So if you look at how Kenya, we are really deliberately and intentionally using tech in our e-governance, it's quite humbling. You know, it's a huge stride, though it has its own limitation. But also events, I'm glad to hear that now the delegates, the event owners are actually adopting and really understanding how tech are actually being used in their country. Now, if you look at it this way, so in terms of knowledge gaps and human resource gaps in event tech, because it's a new foreign concept. So the former CEO of KMA, you are saying, I was an early adopter, but now when it comes to the human resource, so is the human resource ready to really handle the tech solution? How the human landscape for the events tech and the knowledge gaps that needs to exist? Because I expect a smooth transition, because a workforce need to be prepared to work with Dijito.one solutions, right?
There are two aspects to it. The first one is, of course, the technology bit of it, which everybody can be able to work with. But that's not all in delivering the service that we deliver. There's the professional part of it, the customer service, the speed of inputting of data, understanding of the whole infrastructure, such that you're able to give a good service to that person who's coming, who's interacting with it. Yes, it's possible to take these technology solutions and give them to the potential event organizer. But for them to train their workforce to be able to have the professionalism at the front desk, there's a small hiccup there. So many event planners or many event organizers still prefer to have it as a service. The same way you can buy, the event planner can buy the sound equipment and have his employees run his sound equipment, but that will not beat a sound expert who has been doing this every day. So it's the same thing, and you don't want to have queues at the entrance, you don't want to have hiccups, and you don't have to understand. So as a service, that has been adapted very well. Very few event organizers or event owners come back and tell you, give us a solution, and they do it themselves. We have a few that do that, but the training that is required to bring those people up to speed to what is required on a professional level has always been a limitation on that happening. So software as a service is still the way it is currently structured, and for good reason. These are people who do registration every day, compared to a few people, your employees who are not doing it every day. So it cannot be the same. So
it makes a lot of easier if a client outsources like the whole package. So give me the solution. You have your human resource, the service. Yes, you can still purchase like the whole software and do it and run your own show. But the level of training,
the solutions are there in the market. You can be able to do
the self-service.
Self-service. But the professionalism at the door is that's where you've got to draw the line. who is this person, who is this first point of contact in your event. Yeah, so you better give it to the professionals who will know, who have done this throughout, and they understand. They understand the things that can go wrong. What are the expectations and all those kind of things. Instead of just getting somebody who can be able to type, anybody can be able to type, but will they be able to offer that level of service that is required?
Do you feel pressure from international tech solutions?
No, because the way we've designed Dijito.one, and as I said, Dijito.one is fully locally developed. 100%.
All right.
From the first code, the beginning up to now, and this is not the first. This is we are now the third iteration of this. It has evolved 3 times.
All right.
So you build and see this has reached its capacity, and rebuild a new one. This is the third one that we are working on now.
Nice.
International players, Dijito.one has been designed to have integrations. So we don't reinvent the wheel. Yes, it's called the online registration part. But if you do your pre-registration from any other system, including an Excel spreadsheet, including Google Forms, including any other web form, we're able to integrate with all those.
All right.
So are they competition? No. Yeah, because we're able to pull that data and use it within the, because those international players, you cannot compare the prices that they offer, the services, compared to what we offer locally. Our prices are not as high as those international players. But now with time, people are seeing the value of Dijito.one being the online player.
All right.
Because of number one, it's free of charge. We do free of charge whether you're going to use our system or not. But secondly, it's able to integrate to the M-Pesas, to the Visas, to eCitizen, to all those payment platforms are all integrated into it, and so many other possibilities.
I'm still stuck to the free of charge. What exactly is free of charge?
The online registration form. So we will do the online registration form for you free of charge.
All right.
So you will go out there. We'll send somebody to you. You tell us the rules of the event. What is the components of the event? For example, you've got a conference, an exhibition, and all those things. Then we'll design for you the registration form that you can even register exhibitors. Then they choose their spaces within the exhibition area. If you've already mapped it, you can do the payments integrations. We give you auto notifications. So, for example, you register, you get an auto mailer on different, and you are doing it from your domain. You're not doing it from our domain. So, all those that we offer free of charge.
Interesting.
Yes, whether you use our solution or you don't use our solution, that is free. Because we've done that because when we integrate with other players, there's always this gap. There's always a gap. Yes, we have mitigated against those kind of gaps, but you see that there are many other things that you might have lost out. We are being forced to do on-site payment collection because this international solution you used does not integrate M-Pesa.
All right.
You understand?
But do they integrate M-Pesa?
I don't think there's any right now. I don't know to say authoritatively that there's none, but I'm sure M-Pesa is a very small player in the international space.
All right.
So so those kind of integrations are not there. So we've got that additional advantage.
So basically, international communities are not competitors, collaborators.
They are more of collaborators.
But actually, there is a lot to also learn from them. So what do you learn from these international tech solutions that you can integrate it locally?
Yes, of course, we learn a lot from them. They have the benefit of numbers. So and now with numbers, they've got, of course, more resources, so they're able to be space setters in some particular spaces. I don't know about any particular example I can be able to give, but yes, there's always the technology close coordinates. It close coordinates with each other. You learn something, and I'm sure they also learn something from us. If they look down, they'll see things that we are very much ahead.
All right. So when you talk about scaling or growing at Dijito.one event, so Dijito.one solutions. So what does growth and scaling look like?
Growth or scaling is, as I said, it's software as a service. So the biggest limitation in scaling is how do you still like the franchise model. You know, when you're doing franchising,
Yes. It's like
that person who takes up, for example, KFC as an example, or McDonald's. It's called McDonald's. Yes, McDonald's has got to do everything according to how McDonald's does it in California or wherever they come from.
Yes.
So getting that level is not always the simplest part of it. So you can only scale and put in the systems that are required to be able to make sure that the level of service is not compromised.
All right.
Because taking the software and giving it to somebody to use, that is very easy. It's extremely intuitive. But that is not all that it takes in an event. What we offer is event solutions. We're talking about 90 features. You need to know who this, you need to pick up this feature and this feature and this feature to create the experience that you want to create. So how do you replicate that to somebody in Rwanda, somebody in Algeria? Understand?
Yeah. So I think maybe what you're talking about is structure now. Having structure and systems in place and refining a standard operation procedure that will be used for particular event, then can now be duplicated, and to ensure this is the best benchmark or the standard at par that will assist us also now to it has that commercial value, it has that international and scalable appeal. All right, so interesting.
Just to add to that, yes, is the opportunity of taking Dijito.one and oversimplifying it. As we've invested in a product that works for event planners, we can narrow it down and make it very easy to adapt. And that's how many players are doing it. Create forms, have an on-site work, and it's pretty straightforward. Take names, issue badges on this other end. But that's not how we operate. Ours is a full suite of products. We don't want to compromise on the quality of and the technology behind what we are doing on the table of simplifying it for every Tom, Dick and Harry. I'm not saying the Tom, Dick and Harry are not required. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, you've got to set a standard of how events function for it to be relevant to that user.
Now we are at the height of event sustainability. We are going green. So what initiatives do you have for sustainability at Dijito.one solution?
Sustainability is at different levels. Number one, of course, we on Dijito.one on sustainability space, and we've got a lot of events that are taking that up, is e-badges. So an e-badge is sent to you as a PDF. It's a badge on your phone which you just show, and it functions the same way.
So right now we are not printing badges.
Of course, you've got to print badges because
but you're trying to avoid.
Yes, if you've got sustainability as an issue, there are some events that we do biodegradable badges. That's a possibility. Sustainability is not just about biodegrading. There's also things like, for example, you don't bring nylon lanyards in the event. You use locally local available material, but the event collaborated with a school that's got a disability, children with disability, to create beaded lanyards for events, because that supports them. And we've done that for one or two other events that are pretty high profile.
Interesting.
The badges, the lanyards came from children with disability to create those and that makes sure that you've got that sustainability solution. We have print at home badges. You can be able to print your badge at home and come and give you a pouch and use it. That's also considered as a sustainable solution. Or even you can have badges that you don't have to have the lanyard. We just give you a sticker you stick on the back of your phone. The QR code is there. It can be used anywhere that you need the QR code to be used. So all those are sustainability solutions that we have in our suite of products.
All right. That's interesting. Actually, I'm so happy to hear that there was a project you guys did supported the PWDs.
Yes. We are very keen on that. In fact, if more events would be coming out with that as a requirement, we are very glad to help and have every coin taken to that school. Because yes, it also gives them purpose.
That's actually true. So what challenges do you guys face maybe when you are pushing the event solution project? So are the event owners receptive to the whole idea, And I know the in tech we have early adopters and the people who come who catch up later afterwards. So what are some of the hindrance market access?
There's uptake is pretty good.
All right.
I cannot complain. People are aware of their solutions.
Yes.
Not like before. You used to go and pitch and people think you're speaking Greek.
Yes.
But nowadays people are aware. The biggest hiccup right now is that, as I said, technology is not cheap to deploy.
Yes.
It's not always cheap to deploy. The biggest hiccup right now is because the economy is not extremely strong. When the economy is not very strong, companies are not making a lot of money and they're not spending a lot of money to sponsor events. If they don't sponsor events don't have enough capital to take a lot of solutions.
Yes.
So it's a vicious cycle. Events can promote industry, can promote business, but if you don't inject money into the event industry, it will not bear the fruits that you need it to bear. So I always think we're on a downward spiral unless it is reversed. Yes, events can support industry a lot in bringing in knowledge into industry, bringing in investors, getting the information out there of the possibilities.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunity that can be capitalized on. But unless they are financed to be able to adapt solutions and create international events, then you've got that vicious cycle that it is never really getting out of a spiral.
So then you request to have a plea for us to you have a plea for event organizers and event owners to have to invest more in events tech.
Yes, it is.
Which means they're not spending as much as it needs to, so that it can spur innovation.
Yes, but just further to that, event owners you can ask them to spend more money into it, but unless they're getting the money from the industry, high up the food chain.
Yeah.
If they're getting the money, unless you get more people sponsoring events and exhibiting in events, then you're not be able to capitalize events well enough to be able to attract the right technology and the right technology to attract better participation.
All right.
You understand? Yeah.
Interesting. So actually, we need more investment in the event tech space.
Yes, you need more investment in that tech space, and that investment is coming from high up in the food chain. It's not somebody pumping in money, because it will not be.
All right.
It is. Probably I could bring up the issue of the Convention Bureau.
Yeah.
It is us attracting big events, and those big events are attracting big industries, and those industries investing in the events, and the events generating enough cash to be reinvested back into the same industry in form of knowledge, in form of expertise, in form of course, knowledge transfer. So it's a vicious cycle that we need to break out of.
Oh, interesting. So have you tried out other African countries, or so far how is the Dijito.one market like? Are you only operating in Kenya?
Yes, no, we are operating in Uganda, Tanzania.
All right.
And Tanzania, that those are big for us.
Stronghold,
We've done events in Togo, we've done events in Tunisia, in Algeria.
Nice.
Yeah, so people come and see what we are doing and they say we don't have this.
Nice.
And when we've been called upon to do events in those countries. I think we've done like 3 or 4. In Southern Africa, we've also done some events here and there. Yeah. People who come to Kenya and they see this technology is worthwhile, and they ask us, please come and do it. Come and do it for us. Yeah.
So and this, you said that Dijito.one has 100%. It's purely locally owned. Now I want us to touch a little bit on the issue of copyright and the copywriting of the software programs to ensure that no one duplicates your program, and also because you also need to ensure that you hold and maintain your IP rights, right? So what about it?
I'm over contrary opinion. Yes, we can copyright. In fact, we had copyrighted Dijito.one earlier.
Yes.
But the cost of copywriting in Kenya and this process, it cannot keep pace with the way you're developing. Exactly. So you'll keep on spending your time at the.
Wow.
You understand? And then the second issue is enforcement in the industry. So yes, you have stolen my software.
Yes. Then what?
Then what? So You've stolen my idea. By the time I go through the court process to get from you, it is imepitwa. It is water under the bridge.
At even a new tech has actually come.
Yes, understand. If the justice system is not fast, things like copywriting don't really make sense. You can do it probably to punish if you want to go that path, but it is not something that is very easy to enforce. So the better solution, in my opinion, is move very fast.
Maybe I'll reach out to Kipi and LSK to give us a comment on the same.
Yes,
because it's so frustrating. I just really need to understand the state of IP rights in Kenya, and that's something I'll take it up from there.
Yes,
because
I think it needs to be structured the same way as what the judiciary did to small claims.
Yes, the small claims court. Yeah.
So instead of taking copyright issues into the issue full legal, which is even getting lawyers in that space is not very easy. They're there, but it's not very easy.
All right.
Make it a small claims court level. You understand? And force it at a different level, which is not too complex.
All right.
Yeah, it's not too complex.
So unless maybe they integrate copyright issues within the small claims court, or
exactly
they do it, or we have like a separate courts that handle.
Yes, Kipi should probably be a good space.
Yeah.
And what is when we did our first copyright, you copyright, it's only applicable in Kenya. Number one, it's not applicable in other countries. So another international player can come in and take. So there's quite a number of things that makes it so unattractive to do.
Wow. Anyway, that's so. I can identify a gap and a loophole there. So I think that's something probably we can actually look exactly into. So why are you so passionate about the MICE and the event space? Because in our conversation, you are a communications engineer, the huge passion for tech, but your passion is so deep to a point of you really focused it now into the MICE space. So what was it attractive in the MICE ecosystem?
Yeah. First of all, you've got to be passionate about the opportunity or the potential Kenya holds to start with.
Yeah.
Kenya is just sitting on potential. On a lot of potential.
Wow.
And sad when you have so much potential and you've got so many unemployed people and so much opportunity not being exploited.
Yeah.
So starting from that point, then you realize that one of the biggest drivers that can be exploited is MICE. MICE it's punching below. It is actually, that's a word. It is like a megaphone for a lot of things. And I was saying, you create an event. For example, you create an event, a climate change event.
Yes.
You bring people from Brazil, as an example, and from Europe and everything else. They come here, they see the infrastructure, they see the conversations, they interact with our exhibitors.
They
will be interested in putting their money here.
Yeah, all right.
You understand?
Yes.
So there's a lot of opportunity if we get it right. If we get it right, there's a lot of opportunity for growth, because when people come to visit, we can attract them using the national parks and the beaches and so many other things we're able to do, because there's a lot of potential in this market.
Yes.
But the overall effect on the whole economy is 20 times more. Not just what people are getting directly, it is 20 times more. Understand? If we do it right, me as a small company, if I exhibit in an event for technology, and a big player comes along, they're able to say, whether there's this local player, and has got ABCD above us or what, and able to even put money. Understand? In any kind of industry, you're able to attract the right people.
Interesting.
Into your events. It will have a multiplier effect on the whole economy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You said if we do it right. What exactly is Kenya not doing right?
Number one, and nowadays you find a few events that are exploiting the tourism attractions, for example.
Yes.
We have got a small problem with those big government events being the accreditation being done by government agencies, and that is of course frustrating the same participants with long queues and so many other bureaucratic processes. Then you don't get the experience is not as good.
Wait, I need to clarify something. So international events the delegates come in, they need to be accredited.
They need to be accredited and they need to go through security checks.
Oh.
Yes.
You can't just bring an interview?
No. Okay. If it is a high security, you've got a presidential event.
Or a
you've
high
got to
level
have
event.
a high level event. And so those ones can bring in the right people, but you frustrate them using rules that may not neither here or there. There are reasons for those rules, but there are ways of going around it. So you frustrate.
They can just improve their processes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Improve their processes. Be more customer service oriented instead of basing a lot on the security.
Right.
You can, and there's still a balance they can be able to achieve from that. Other things is stopping events from being token shops. You can have an event and they're just token shops. You just finish, but you've got no ways of enforcement.
Expound.
So, if, for example, you're having a national cancer conference, for example, and you've invited all these participants,
yes,
government should have structures within it, as an example, to take the learnings from this and implement, not just creating the documents and putting them in the shelves. Understand? Implementation of what is being discussed, because it is, we call it intelligence. It is knowledge, and that knowledge is important for. So you've got to find a way of transfusing it out to the economy. Yeah. So there are those kind of limitations. This, we cannot say enough of this. The marketing of the country as an events destination, and that we are completely missing it. And we don't have, yes, I know the premier conference facility we have in the country is a bit old, but it doesn't have to be disadvantaged because of that. If we've got the right investment, and I think the current government tried to renovate it.
They did renovation.
They did renovation when we were doing the climate change conference. Yeah. A lot of money went into it.
Yeah, actually,
and you can still upgrade
1 million
it.
Kenyan shillings.
Yeah, I think more. It was more.
It was the one that was done by the military.
Yes.
All right. I think also it was, assist me, I don't know if I'm getting it wrong, it was in 2023, and it was a few months before the Africa Climate Summit.
That's the Africa Climate Summit.
So before the Africa Climate Summit, there was renovation that was done.
Yes, it was done as there were emergency renovations because of that conference. Yes.
All right.
It was part of the planning team for that.
All right.
The other, for example, if you make it the premier venue, for example, why can't the government take up Intercontinental or Hilton, which are right now not used? They're just sitting there as you don't call them white elephants, but they went into receivership. Those facilities can make us compete with Rwanda, because what makes Rwanda Convention Center very attractive because it's got the Radisson attached to it. So what does it take to get Intercontinental to be part of KICC?
All right.
It's a small, I think government can be able to afford it. It's a very small step that can add is it 500 rooms that are in that particular hotel or more, and many other accommodation, and you add parkings, you add all those, because Intercontinental had its own conference facilities, add that as part of the infrastructure. Understand? So there's some small things that the government can be able to do to make our premier venue to be attractive for. Understand? It doesn't take much.
You mentioned something on that. I don't know, there was an issue, it was a very touchy issue on the privatization. Are you proposing something, the privatization of KCC? And it's something I think also I'm not sure, something I also need to check. The government, I don't know if it's the courts. I don't know if they stopped it or stalled it. I don't know where the progress went. There was a huge issue. Oh, why are you guys selling our heritage? KCC doesn't have to be sold. Then now you bring the idea of involvement of the private sector at KCC.
It is. I'm not advocating for it. It is just a sad reality that public servants put their stomachs first before being public servants. So KCC can operate purely as a public asset. It can just get the right people there who are not looking at own selfish. And I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But they don't look at the personal interest of but get professionals, not people, not political appointees, get professionals to run it, and they'll be able to do the things, can be able to even be self-sustaining. But unfortunately, and how the former president was solving this, and I think even the current president, when it reaches a stage that you've got to tell military to come and renovate a place, or military to take over a company, a public asset, basically you are just admitting that you have failed.
Oh, wow.
You are saying that within your private ranks, you don't have integrity to manage your own resources, which is a very sad reality. Yeah, probably you need to interrogate why. Are we? What is our selection of selecting technocrats? You understand? So yes, there's potential. And if the public proves that it's not able to do it, yes, privatize it. It does not mean it ceases to be a national asset.
All right.
You can. A national asset. Yes, it can. How does a place like Fairmont, Nairobi, Kenya, Mount Kenya Safari Club, for example, or even Lydian Towers or Norfolk, how do those places operate? They operate, the infrastructure is there. You can actually even build your own building, your own hotel, but you don't run it. Tell Fairmont, tell
the franchisee,
yes, to come and set up there. They will professionalize it, but the assets remains yours.
Yeah, because actually, even also to add on that, there was actually a hospitality tourism report I was reading. There's now an emerging trend on separating real estate and hospitality. Such that just because you have a building, it means you can now run a hotel, you can convert it into a hotel. So bring investors together. So do you have a building? Okay, fantastic. Give us the infrastructure, then we'll professionalize it. And I think that's the same model that Marriott uses.
Yes.
And also Hilton.
Exactly.
And the business model is so nice because they're taking up, I think the leading franchise and last I checked, that was last year, was Marriott.
Yes. And
Marriott, I was listening to an interview by the CFO, was saying that as of now, Marriott is one of the biggest franchiser in the world. And how they do their stuff is they're really focusing so much on marketing, experience, the professionalism.
Exactly, yes.
Now, if you look at the African landscape, the franchising is actually taking shape. So GW Marriott is a new entrance into the market, the market ecosystem. It has actually taken over the hospitality industry in Kenya by a storm. In fact, right now, if you want to book a venue, you need to be 2 months, 3 months earlier. And it's purely someone's investment. Then GW Marriott comes and buys and say, okay, so let's have a franchise here and there. So I think also that's an
it's a way. I don't think the issue of saying it's a national asset, it's like owning an old Volkswagen Kombi. It's not running, you're keeping it in your garage because it's your asset, and yet you can dispose it and get a functioning understand. So the issue of national asset, I don't think it's neither here or there, and there are ways around it. It doesn't have to be disposed of literally, but it can be sort of like franchised. It can go to that model of operating. The same way you can also attract the same investment for build and operate PPP partnerships, and to build a convention center if need be. Like talked about Bournemouth for donkey ages. It's got very large potential, but nobody can seem to agree on how where to take that conversation. I really hope something comes out of it, but I'm sure there are a lot of interest in that particular space. But knowing the Kenyans we are, people are looking at their stomachs, which is extremely sad.
Actually, that's a long-hanging fruit, by the way, because Bournemouth has a very huge tract of land there.
A very big tract of land,
very potential place for such. In fact, if there was a convention center at Bournemouth, that's a huge.
It's a very big opportunity. Very big opportunity for a lot of development. But why are we talking about it for the last so many years? I think 10 years I've heard that story. It beats me. That beats me.
Well, it's still baffling. Associations?
Yes. Associations have got a very large potential. Very large potential. But I think so long as associations are being run by the same players. Yes, players are important in it. But you've got to get people who are not associated with the day-to-day running of their event companies to run those associations. Like getting CEOs, knowledgeable CEOs, and paying them to be able to move the agenda of the association forward. But I think they are being caught up in the vicious cycle of running their own events, running their own companies.
Is that a conflict of interest?
There's also a conflict of interests. Although we are supposed to be members, you're not supposed to be criticizing those associations.
All right.
But we want to believe there is no conflict of interests.
All right.
But if you have professional
run the
associations and set the goals, and of course it needs to be financed by the members,
yes,
they can probably do a lot more to be able to become the one-stop shop of creating or of the resource. If somebody out here wants to know, I want to set up a conference, where is this portal for this for conference organizers or suppliers? Having that a central place. Associations they've got that opportunity of creating that, but I believe they're still failing. They're still failing in that space. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that you really wonder that demonize the MICE industry in the country, and others have got very simple solutions. But here we are.
So, what does the association need to do right?
Professional hiring.
Yeah.
Giving voice to the members.
Yes.
And also serving the same members. There's no of being in an association and it's not serving you. Yeah. It's not giving. If it's not serving my interest, then my membership is irrelevant.
All right. So it's members first.
It's members first. It's got to serve the needs of the members, not just the people who are at the top.
Yeah.
All members have got to be served.
They need to be given value.
They've got to be given value, and the value is there. It's just putting the right systems in place to give that value. Yeah.
Is Kenya headed in the right direction with regards to MICE?
I think we are mark timing. Yeah, we are not moving back or we are not moving forward. We are mark timing. We are mark timing because of these things that plague us. Because if you ask me, I think Uganda is going to overtake us.
Oh, you can tell?
Yes, Uganda is going to overtake us. The same way Rwanda just came and just overtook us, and they were running the MICE industry using Kenyans. So a lot of Kenyans are involved in the Rwandese MICE industry.
Right.
So Uganda will. So it is sad. It is sad that we don't have a convention bureau. It is sad that even the facilities we've got are over-politicized. Yeah, the political appointees. It's a pretty sad scenario.
But there's a lot of things then you're supposed to do.
A lot of things that's supposed to be done with the goodwill. It's called political goodwill.
Political goodwill.
Yes, yeah. Political goodwill can change the trajectory. Yeah.
Adding about political goodwill, there is this issue that keeps coming up even in my line of duty. Infrastructure. It's a thorn in the flesh in the MICE industry. Last week, I have been a chat with some of the event organizers, and they're saying we're talking how now concerts, events are shifting to Rwanda, and an artist in his technical rider maybe needs an arena. We do not have an arena, So why does artists have to go to Rwanda? It's good, let them go there, but you have country. You have Kenya. Kenya, as you said, has a huge potential. So you look in terms of accessibility. No, I think the biggest infrastructure we have in terms of, confirm with me if I'm correct, it's KCC. In terms of KCC, followed by Sarit. Then we have the Age Convention Center.
The Age, yes.
Yeah, after that, then we have the one by Hasnai Nurani, Pride has a convention center. Also, I think we have only less than 5. And by the way, in Ashapai, those guys.
And Lake Naivasha
resorts.
Yeah.
I think those are one of the best infrastructures you have, but it's still not enough.
It's still far from enough. Talking about there's the part for conventions. Convention, yes, it's not enough. But so long as it's not growing, there's no real no real enticing for people to invest in it. You've got to show growth. On the social space, a few things have hit us. For example, the time there was an event at Carnival and people lost their lives because of stampedes. That makes people very fidgety about putting in money. Others, it would have grown, but those kind of things are the things that it starts, it hits, or you've got a performer who doesn't turn up, people's money is stolen, it takes a dip. But otherwise, if we had taken the right systems in place, it could be on an upward trajectory. Tanzania is doing much better than us on the issue of
entertainment, social events.
Yes, they're doing very well.
Wow.
And it is a vicious cycle. If you don't get people to attend, you don't get enough money to finance growth. That injection of money from the people who are consuming needs to be happening for it to grow. Sponsors, delegates, and everything have got to be attracted, and for the money to be available to entice growth.
Basically, we need to induce more demand on this. Exactly. That means marketing, creating more events.
Exactly.
And now the investors will see now a need of now investing in
and doing simple things. You're talking about, you can use Kasarani Stadium as an arena. It's the real stadium can be used, and I think I've seen 1 or 2 events happening there. But if you've got people coming to Kasarani and their vehicles are vandalized because it is next to a slum, then it's the same vicious cycle. So tomorrow you not ask me to go to the event, it doesn't matter who is performing, if you cannot secure my vehicle. So it's a full cycle of things that need to be addressed.
Interesting.
What
is the most inspiration about South Africa? South Africa is one of the leading MICE giants in Africa. I think the closest to Morocco. What are the key lessons from South Africa?
I think not even go to South Africa.
Yes.
They have the money. Look at Rwanda.
It's far-fetched.
No, it is not far-fetched. But I'm just saying, South Africa, it came from apartheid, and we found it with those facilities. We found the sandpans and everything else. But look at Rwanda. They started from scratch, and we've seen it grow because it's within our lifetime. Wow. Yes. That we have seen it grow. Yes. It is just basically goodwill, political goodwill. They recognize the needs, they put it in. Now they're building a bigger airport than our airport, and yet it's a country very small.
Rwanda.
Yes. So why are they able to do that? It is just basically political goodwill, putting the right structures to be able to make that political goodwill to count on the ground. Then people will bring in their money. So long as there's no money, I think we say a shilling mulika is another shilling. You understand? As long as there's no money going into an industry, it will just be mark timing. So that's where we are. So we need to find out what are the things that are plaguing all these two small things, and then we turn the tide. It's not a one-day thing, but it can be turned because we have the potential.
All right.
A lot of potential.
Interesting. So apart from I know you so much on the events tech space. But also you've been doing a little bit of consultancy, especially the exhibition and the consulting kind of space. So you can give us an overview of the same.
Yes, I do event consultancy for some event planners.
All right.
So I get involved as an individual in the planning of some major conferences. They're good initiatives because it's more like a JV. You're not saying that I'm alone, I've got all the strength to do something. You're saying I can get this industry leader, then you create something that is strong. It is probably the way to go.
You're right.
I could just probably mention this. Some years back, our leading tourism body contracted a South African firm to come and plan
MKT.
Yes, MKT. And it was totally ridiculous. But later you come and learn that those guys are professional enough. Local companies may not be able to do that or couldn't do that at that particular time. But with JVs, they would have been able to do it. You understand? Getting different strengths to come together to create the solution. The same opportunity lies now in growth in this particular industry, where JVs are strengthened and you get the expertise that you get bid for those jobs, even if it is under the conference bureau. So the question you asked is about exhibitions.
Yeah.
Exhibitions is one of those things. It is the conference part is the knowledge.
All right.
The exhibitions is experiential.
All
It is where business now can really benefit.
the transaction, the exchange now,
Exactly.
or business deals.
Exactly. Now
Nice.
you are on the ground.
Transactional, yeah.
Exactly. So there's a lot of opportunity in that space. And I'm happy that there are a lot of companies that are doing very many exhibitions in Kenya. Actually, international companies are really doing a lot of exhibitions.
Yes.
There's a potential for many exhibitions in many other sectors of industry, a lot of other sectors of industry, because that's where people cross-pollinate ideas and they learn and they grow.
Yeah.
Especially be able to attract the right people into those exhibitions. Counties can leverage on the same. Counties, in fact, I always wonder, why do you need to take the Homa Bay Investment Conference to Homa Bay? Bring it to Nairobi, because the investors are here. Understand? So they can come to Nairobi, bring their whatever they want to do it here, and attract the right people to those, and it will find its way to Homa Bay, for example. So there are those kind of things, because of calling people to Homa Bay, another person calls them to Murang'a, another person goes, understand, it will be too much. So KCC has got an opportunity there.
So so you're proposing it's best to centralize all these county investment forums into one stop shop.
Exactly. Because this is where you've got the embassies, this is where you've got the investment investors, this is where you've got, Nairobi is probably the place. By the time you've not developed the hotels for the MD or CEO of a big international company to come and spend a night in Homa Bay, then you'll not be able to get that attraction. But if you get them here and they know this is a timetable of events in Nairobi, at KICC, for example, they can be able to get all those counties bringing in their people, which they still do in one or the other, and demo and show what they have got to offer. And the investors will be coming from the same place too. They'll see. And
let me share my school of thought. This is my thinking. I will think it's best how they are doing it. So if Homa Bay has the investment conference, Kilifi has their own, Turkana, they can also do their own. Murang'a soon in 2-3 months they'll be having their investment conference. So it's best as compared to having it in Nairobi all in one. Let me expand on the same one. It's going to devolve the MICE economy into each and every counties. That's one thing. The second thing, it's sampling MICE product and doing familiarization trip. Oh, you say there is milk processing and there is agro processing in Murang'a County. Can you go and see the factory? Yes, the factory is there. In fact, it's easier to convince an investor from a point of seeing practical, because they're so practical and technical. But if you tell them, oh, we're in Nairobi, but whatever I'm saying is in Homa Bay, maybe it's good also even for them to experience the infrastructure there, get to interact with the demographics, tell them to feel the vibe. And the other thing, it opens up economies in those counties. So I think it's a good way of looking at it. Right?
Yes, it is. It is. And you can be able to marry the two concepts,
and and also it springs up economies in those counties. Because look at it this way, Martin. Go to Turkana after an investment conference, sample their products, blah blah blah. Then they'll open maybe an headquarter there or an office. So if you look at on MICE, they do so well in cities, a place where the infrastructure is devolved, improved infrastructure, the numbers are there, it's more urban. Then now we are going to have a more crop of towns and economies growing there. Don't you look at it that way? You explain the concept.
I would ask two questions.
Yes.
Because we've done, as Dijito.one, we've been in many of these investment forums.
Yes.
What is the results of all the ones that we've seen? We've seen Lake Basin.
Oh, wow.
We've seen, yes, they have been there. Yes. So how much are they bringing back? Are they attracting the right people, or they're just political talk shops?
You'll be the best person to advise. You've been there.
From a layman's perspective, I can say close to none.
Oh, right.
We're close to none.
The return of investment.
The return on investment in those spaces. Yes, the local people can have those conversations and to look very flamboyant,
Yeah.
But the reality is that how many times have those investors come back to invest? Are they able to send the right decision makers to those places that don't have infrastructure to do that?
Yes.
Why don't you then have a hybrid? You can still have it centralized here and have excursions to those places. You understand? You can still do that. Magical Kenya happens in Nairobi, but the what you call the trade buyers are taken a week before to the various facilities, Masai Mara, Coast, and everywhere else. It still works. Yeah. It still works, but you cannot ask. You want to guess if Masai Mara was just getting its own Magical Kenya that is there, it would be very limited in how many people it's able to attract, basically because of the surrounding infrastructure. Yeah. Okay. It would be interesting to see. Probably the Council of Governors needs to look into the results of all these events.
Actually,
I will see whether his money has gone back, whether it has really benefited.
Yes. To actually, to an extent of looking how many business licenses have actually need.
Exactly. How many people have what a milk processing opportunity? Yes. How many? Yes. Have you seen those investors?
So many calls.
Yes.
Oh wow! Actually, just give me that assignment. I'll be back.
Yes,
I will reach to the Council of Governors
to find out,
to actually inquire on the on the impact of the county investment forums.
Exactly. Yes. Find out that.
Yeah.
Then see whether it's worth really looking at the model. I'm thinking the same way that Kenya goes to Berlin conference and shows and is actually able to get a lot of deals, showcases Kenya in the Berlin and the Dubais and the London, all those tourism expos.
Yes.
The same model can be used here. Nairobi is central, we can't deny that, but use that as a stepping stone to the others. But don't ask, when we got involved in an event in Meru for Council of Governors, there was a big strain in the infrastructure. It couldn't take the guests from all those places. So you don't attract the right people to those events just by virtue of the supporting infrastructure is not present. So they're reduced to talking shops than real value.
And something just to justify, maybe my thinking will be why they're so slow in executing the infrastructure. Though I'm not saying this on a point of privilege, just a pedestrian feedback. So maybe if they're doing the feasibility study, wanaona why do I need to pour 3 billion, 5 billion in a road here? Well, it has no impact. Like the way they were saying, was it the SGR or what? Why are you taking the train this side or else? It makes a lot of sense if you do this side. Then why do you need to build a road where people do not exist? You know?
Yeah, it's the same vicious cycle. Enable the economy, then infrastructure is going to probably follow. It's supposed to be the other way around, but in Kenya we do it the other way around.
Infrastructure?
So we start with the people go to an area, they go to Syokimau, and then comes the roads. Right. It's a reality of our market. So the same thing can be adapted in the MICE industry.
So 10 years of operations down the line, what is the impact for Dijito.one solutions?
I think the biggest impact has been the consistency has created this knowledge that it is possible to do it Kenyan. Number two, it's really a lot of companies you see in the market are offshoots of Dijito.one.
All right.
So
new entrants in the market.
New entrants in the market have been products of Dijito.one.
Yeah.
And professionalizing that space, because if you don't manage people well, if you don't manage resources well, if you don't manage information well, then the event will be disjointed. So that element of having a one-stop technology solution provider, we don't do mobile. The mobile app is not separate from the registration, not separate from. You understand? They're all interconnected.
Yeah.
So having that has really created some form of professionalism in the event space. Yeah.
All right. So I think that's it's a good overview. So hybrid and live events. So can you touch a little bit on that? So how does the ecosystem for hybrid works? Are people really embracing it? You know,
there's something about events, physical events, that is called captive audience. In fact, nowadays, when people are having Zoom in offices, you're being forced to put on your camera, because there's just something about being in the house and participating in something that it requires your full participation. So yes, hybrid events gives you a wide audience. That is true. Gives you, even participants can even video conference into the event. But the reality is that human beings are social animals. So an event will give you the socialization space and being a captive audience. So you are fully immersed there. If I'm a doctor, I'm attending a doctor's conference in a hybrid space, I'll have many interruptions. But if I'm physically there, I'm there. And I give my 100% in that present. So yes, we need to balance the two. Actually, but we've done events where many people have registered online, then you find them physical. Yes, but you registered online. Why are you here? You said, no, I want to be. This feels better than being online. Understand? So human beings are social animals. So there's still a lot of opportunity. Physical attendance is still the number one choice. But you can be limited by budget. You can be limited by geography, and even other factors that make you participate in the virtual space. So as much as you have both hybrids and live event, there is still a huge demand for in-person. The in-person participation is still very, very attractive.
So in-person still carries the day.
It still carries the day.
So what solutions do event owners use when doing their hybrid events?
Thanks to COVID, there are very many players who do live streaming. So you've got live streaming and very good mixtures. Mixers, you get you're able to do very good hybrid events. You can even have speakers outside speaking into an event and participating like they are there by just video conferencing into the event. And then you've got the audience speakers here being able to talk to people outside. So with other solutions, like for example, we do things like polling, surveys and things like that. You can still be able to engage and get questions from the virtual participants being able. So the technology has enabled it thanks to COVID. And that balance is important because it enriches the event. But you cannot downplay physical events.
It actually has a huge ripple effect.
Exactly.
All right. So as we near to the close down, so what's your outlook for the MICE industry in future? So how does it look like? Give us some few projection insights.
Nairobi being what it is and being where it is, and the history of Nairobi being a financial center for the region, it means we are sitting on very high potential. If we get this other part, the governance part and the incentive part right, the effect
actually you said the incentive part. There's someone who said, and I quote, the MICE industry, the I is silent. So I know saying
exactly.
it, like,
but it is. And we have so much potential. I think one of the first events we did as Digital was a conference for this surgery that is done using a very small incision. Then you put in a tube and you do surgery using some probably robotics. Just because it was ISG. It was many years ago. That is over probably close to 10 years when we were very new in digital space. That had put such strong incentive elements within it, and it was so well utilized. Those surgeons came in from those countries. They did the tours. They were allowed to come with their spouses. it was part of it. They came and did the tours and everything else, and the event was a success. Yeah. So yes, the eye is silent. And many event organizers are not capitalizing, and it could be just a very simple thing like an excursion to a farm in Limuru.
All right.
Nairobi is so strategically placed.
Yes.
You can get anything. Yes.
Yeah.
You can get the farms. You can get the wildlife. You can get the forests. You can get the companies, the corporates, and the big, from big corporates to the small ones.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of things in that space to create very powerful and magical events for the participants. So we have the potential. It's like a water tank up there, but it doesn't have a pipe to bring down the water. The potential is there, but this is a broken pipe. It's very many things, politics, and probably lack of implementation, because we are very good in doing the documentation and planning, poor implementation. So if we get that right, these other countries will not see, don't have a chance.
So back to the outlook. So you said, I cut you short a little bit. So you're talking about how if you get the incentive and you can proceed from there where you left.
Yes, if you get the incentive right, the outlook is very powerful. It's very powerful, and you can attract very many types of events into this country. And of course, giving a big ripple effect to the direct industries that are connected with it, from the cleaning people to the hospitality to security to so many other industries directly connected. Then you add that to the ripple effect to the whole economy. It will be extremely a big opportunity that we are relying on. So yes, the outlook is positive, but we are looking at that outlook through a dirty piece of glass. So it is hazy, because there's a lot of barriers to achieving that. There are a lot of barriers that we need to overcome, and they're overcomable. A lot of barriers to make it happen.
All right. So by any chance, have you gotten to look at the draft of the National MICE strategy? Have you gotten a chance?
Yes. Just a bit of it. I don't know, they call it apathy. We've seen these things. As I told you, Bomas has been spoken about for the last 10 years
or more.
Aki Uhuru was in power for 10 years. Even during Kibaki's time, that's probably the time that issue was Bomas was put there. But we're still talking about it. So people have become very skeptical to this. A lot of paperwork. We're very good in talking, but implementation, and we cannot blame money.
All right.
Yes, we cannot blame money. It is everything else but the money.
But I'm glad also in our conversation you mentioned something on political goodwill. I think this is something we also need to sit down and align. This goodwill stuff, because
appointments have got to be done on merit. That will be the first step.
Because I was listening to a recording by I've forgotten their name, but PLO was talking about the diplomatic blunders that Kenya has been doing in terms of and it's things that could have been avoided.
Completely.
Something that could have been avoided. So and some of the benchmark they are using is the delegation that went to the neighboring country for the election, and the conduct. It's really, it wasn't sitting well with the diplomatic communities, and the issue was, we have seasoned diplomats in the country. You could have leveraged on them. Right? So not just taking anyone who can walk, just going there.
We have a culture of being cunning. It's a bad culture. That being cunning, that you don't give appointments on merit, you're giving them on who knows who. That is hurting. That is hurting the economy.
And in fact, I'm also disturbed by this. You also mentioned on something how Kenyans are assisting our neighbors to set up their MICE industries, and it's our human capital.
Go to Dubai. A lot of those convention centers are run and have got Kenyans operating.
Gosh.
If you get to those people, they're just the ideas they've got to come into this.
Yeah.
This is child's play.
Wow.
This is a lot of child's play. I mean, we are so far behind
Gosh.
that they can move us ahead. But will they get the opportunity? No.
Wow. To an extent of there is mass exodus of MICE experts going to Rwanda.
Yeah.
Packing and leaving, heading to a sea. Right now are leaving for Uganda.
Yeah.
Why did Kenya get it wrong? Where does the rain start beating us? Because you see, we'll now start capacity issues. Now, when project starts coming back home, no one is there to handle and tackle that project.
Exactly.
And look at it also this way. Look at the technical knowledge transfer to other generations. So experts flee, and we need a new fresh blood into the industry. So who is going to have that transition? Yes, schools are trying, but we still need the experience, the industry, the industry pioneers like you to have this, systematic exchange of knowledge and information.
That's true.
Wow, it's getting more intensive. So I want us to close down. Give us a parting shot. Tell something about our viewers. Give us your overview, landscape, what needs to be done better. Camera is yours.
Good. I think just in summary, we are punching below our weight. And the potential of MICE industry, the potential of MICE in this country is not just direct, where people like Dijito.one are operating, but also it's got a big ripple effect onto the whole economy of the country. So we should get that right. If we get MICE right, a lot of things that the country is trying to do, including employment and so many other things, will align itself. We just need to get MICE right, with the right, the goodwill of the political players, the right technocrats running the various aspects of it, and people even willing to put in money. Talking about even that Bomas of Kenya, there are many international players who can put in the money.
Yeah.